Hey Sandra, you're working hard. You're working hard again, aren't you? Hey, you know what? I came in prepared this time. You know, after that last video I made with the camera all over the place, I've actually got a
Yeah,
tripod
you
and
were
everything.
feeling my belly button the entire time. Yeah.
I'm ready this time.
Yep.
All right. So, what are you doing again? You working hard?
Just doing some journaling this morning.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, this is something you do a lot of, isn't it? You write a lot. What's
Yeah.
what's
See,
this all about?
I have this amazing husband that I talk to sometimes, and
Sometimes.
he doesn't respond so quickly. Maybe within a half hour, he might respond to whatever I was talking
He'd
about.
never do that, would he?
So I find it just easier to write stuff on some paper and talk to myself.
To have a conversation with yourself.
I'm just playing. You're really cool. You're great. I'm just playing. No, I like journaling. I like to get the thoughts out and to flow with whatever happens pretty much. Sometimes I think we force too much in our lives. Well, me, I try too hard. I like to work hard. But then sometimes it's good just to take a moment and breathe and let things be guided in a different way and just see where it flows.
So, what do you mean, take a moment and breathe? What's this all about?
Well, I don't know. I think that since we came to the Sunshine Coast, and probably more since we had kids, I guess when we first had our kids, I think it was very busy, very hectic, keeping up with their schedules. And I fell into that trap of not giving myself time.
Mm.
And it wasn't pretty. It's some good lessons in that experience, let's just say that. And then at one stage, I got back to this sort of thing that I always did before I had kids. And I realized that there's a lot of power in giving yourself time.
Mm.
And when you give yourself time first, you present a better person for those around you to enjoy.
So how do you give yourself time? Give me a little bit more.
Like I am now. I'm not in the best posture right now. I'm not in that sense. But usually when I give myself time, it's usually sitting in Seiza. And I like
sitting in Seiza,
sitting
meditation.
in Seiza, yeah. I like to focus on the posture in particular and opening up the chest. There's a nice open, expansive feel. And just to be as still as I can.
Mm.
So that complete body awareness, being as still as I possibly can. And just being quiet. And just allowing the breath to do what it does. Just to breathe very naturally.
Mm.
Yeah.
So what do you find when you do that? When you get, does it take you to a certain kind of a headspace, or was it?
Yeah, I've tried all different kinds of breathing, and I still do different kinds of breathing for different times of my day. But I find that if I want to get into a creative and create my life, design my life feel, and to flow with that, I found the best way for me personally is through relaxation.
Mm.
So if there's any tension involved in making myself breathe a certain way, there's less relaxation in that process.
Mm.
So I found that we breathe without thinking about it for the most part. So why are we forcing our breath? So just when you sit in Seiza or in a comfortable chair, whatever it is for you, with good posture, and if you just maintain that posture and you allow yourself just to breathe naturally, so there's no force.
Mm.
Just let the breath, let it inhale as far as it wants to, let it fill you up. And then when it's ready, just let it fall. And let it fall in the timing that it wants to fall at. And it's different every day. And it changes in that time that you're doing your Seiza as well. So that natural breath. And then you just breathe in when you get to that point where you naturally feel like you need to have the next breath. And it's amazing how long that breath takes sometimes. It's actually really interesting.
Yeah. So do you find, where do you find your head goes when you're doing this? Do you consciously try and take your head somewhere, or is it just let it flow?
There's no willpower, there's no effort on my part, because that's just tension. it's simply just let it be. So when it's time to breathe in, that's all I'm doing. Just breathing in, letting it, I'm just being more an observer to it, just observing the breath filling me up, and then letting it empty. And I'm not trying to force it in any direction, not trying to control it, I'm just letting it be as it is.
Your head you're talking about.
I'm a bit too relaxed right now. Yeah.
We're talking about your head, not your breath.
Yeah,
right?
so when you breathe like that, you get very relaxed. And
very relaxed like this.
But what happens is like the consciousness, the conscious part of the mind, it's like it gets dimmed. So the conscious part can be quite negative and erratic at times, and it's got this big to-do list, all these things you should be doing, and you shouldn't be sitting down breathing like this and taking time out. And that seems to just dissolve. And in the absence of that, trying to control you, then there's this subconscious which kind of just comes out. And amazing things happen. And I think it's a different thing for everybody. I don't think we all have the same, experience, what comes out, because we all have very different ideas about life and we all live differently. And I think that's what makes life so beautiful as well.
So when you're talking about designing your life or creating your life, this is the place that you're doing it from, is from this subconscious state.
Yep.
So you don't want to let the conscious mind, the chitter chatter, the monkey chatter get in the way.
Yeah, no monkeys.
No monkeys in the head.
Yeah.
Let them dissolve, get out of the way. All right. So you said how to breathe and how to position yourself. But how long does it take, or how do you know how long does it take to get to this place where you can actually, let the creative mind take over, and how long do you need to do it for is probably the other question.
You've got too many questions.
I know, lots of questions.
I'm going to go off track completely. Okay. Personally, I think it's something that everybody needs to find for themselves. I think 5 minutes is a good start point.
There's a bit of a minimum.
I think.
Yeah.
But in saying that though, I'm not you. I don't know you. And I can't ever say I do. I think you've got to find you. I find myself sometimes sitting for half hour, sometimes just for 5 or 10 minutes. It's different every day. And I don't think there's a set time frame. I think there's I personally just go with the feeling of it. I feel the relaxed state. I feel the conscious being dimmed, and I feel this really nice environment in the mind to be creative, and I get imaginative and I create what I'd like to enjoy. And I get to a point where it's like this fireworks moment of joy and happiness and excitement and enthusiasm. And then it comes to a place of being very, very peaceful and calm. And then it's like, okay, it's time to wrap this up today and actually go and do that right now. Let's go and live and keep this feeling.
So live from that place.
Live from that place in my day. Yeah.
So I know you used to be very big on to-do lists.
Yeah.
You used to always come up with your to-do list, but I think that's starting to change. You still got a to-do list. You still got things to do, things that need to be done. Yeah. But the majority of it seems to come from this place now. This is a little bit of a shift that's happened recently.
Yeah, when I was younger, I started doing a lot of personal growth study as a teenager because I was really curious as to how to change my life. I wanted to live better and do better and, give more. And so I did a lot of study, and for years I heard a lot of people talking about, okay, you got to push yourself to do this and have these routines, and it's all really powerful stuff, and it works for me as well. I love working. I love being productive. I love helping people. But what I found was whenever I achieved from those things, it was always empty. It was never fulfilling. I never felt, even when I won medals in tournaments and achieved certain outcomes, it was never fulfilling. And so I questioned, well, what is this? I'm doing all these things that all these personal growth experts are saying to do to win my day, and I could do it, but it was so empty that didn't feel life. And then just with karate. Always use your karate. Always. And I started to breathe more and slow myself down. And for someone like you watching me, slowing down isn't an
It's
easy
a hard thing for
thing.
you to do.
Slowing down, even my holidays, I must have some kind of a routine
Yeah.
to keep something moving forward. So slowing down and to really tune in to who am I? What is the person that I want to be? And letting that come through, but not through conscious effort and forcing myself to be in a certain way. Whenever I forced it, it just created excessive tension. It always choked. I'd always succeed somehow because that's just me. Got to make sure I get there. But I never realized life could be easy. I always thought it had to be hard work. And so these days I look for the effortless way. And for those who know karate in the higher levels like yourself, you don't throw people with great effort. You've learned how to do things more simply with a more effortless, relaxed
So
way.
you're always on that path of trying to
Yeah.
do more with less.
Yeah, and I really feel that's where my life is at the moment, and it just gets more exciting because of that. The relaxation, it's a studying relaxation for the last 12 months, 2-3 years. It's not just studying relaxation in the dojo, but how do I apply it in my life? And made me realize that I've been living with just a small part of my mind, like just in that conscious state. My conscious has been designing my life. I've been having my to-do list from there for the most part. You know, and it was only by chance it was coming from the subconscious. And these days I deliberately make sure that I dim the conscious mind and I go deeper and think, well, what is this life all about? And thankfully it's actually making my enthusiasm for the things that I had in my mind as a teenager come to life again. So all those things that I dreamt about as a teenager, they're coming back really fast and very full and big and very plentiful, and it's really, really exciting. Yeah.
So I'm you know, probably enough of a chat for now. You've obviously got a little bit more dreaming to do. I mean, work to do.
Yeah.
So maybe one final thought. You know, if you were to give people advice who might be wanting to head down this path, what would the number one thing be to do?
Yeah. The number one thing would be to, although life is really busy and there's a lot of chaos going on potentially, as much as you can, just see if you can make time to slow down and give yourself time. Even if it is so in 24 hours, if you can give yourself just a 5-minute block just for you, undisturbed, and just sit with yourself for 5 minutes and just start there. Just give yourself time and allow that then to find its way into something more. And just go at a speed that works for you. It doesn't need to be an overnight thing. I think that you've got to find your own rhythm. And until you sit down and slow yourself down and have time with you, I think you're missing out on experiencing a pretty amazing person that you have on the inside of you that's ready to come out and shine and be there to live. And but whilst we keep that person locked up, you know, because we're always surface level, living with our conscious part of our mind only, we're trapping the greatness that's in us. And I think to let that greatness out, we need to just slow down and dim what the conscious part of the mind is taking us, that journey is taking us on.
Great advice. Great advice. Well, I'm going to let you get back to your work.
We should make this a monthly challenge maybe in the dojo. We should maybe sit in Caesar for 5 minutes and give people a chance to do this.
Good idea.
I can do more as well.
You can do more. Just do more of it yourself.
Bye.